Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week you can see I'm going to be using the AI tool Consensus to look at the research to do with maths anxiety. So if you're interested in having a look at all the latest research on math anxiety and what causes it and what kind of teaching practices lead to math anxiety, then please keep on watching. Okay, so this week I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone by looking at an AI tool, but also showing you how I use this as a research tool. Now, in my partnerships, I give a lot of parent workshops, and I think it's really important for parents to understand the negative effects of math anxiety and also the messages that parents can give to their children that actually result in math anxiety. And I also think that teachers need to be aware of the different practices that may lead to more math anxiety in the classroom. So Consensus is a free version and I'm on the free version at the moment. So let me just show you the prompt that I put in to look at math anxiety first, and we'll go through this together. Okay, so I put in the prompt, can you tell me the latest research about maths anxiety and the effects on learning for students? Look at studies that include primary and secondary students. So if we have a look, we've got all the studies and they are linked here, and all the studies are actually at the bottom listed as well. And I'll let you know the limitations of the free version, but you can see that you can get the citation and APA or MLA, whatever choice. Let me just show you. So here you can get APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard, and BibTeX, so different ways that you can get the citation. But let's actually have a look at what the studies say. So there's gender differences, and we know that there are gender differences. And that gender difference is that girls tend to exhibit higher levels of math anxiety compared to boys. However, the negative correlation between math anxiety and math performance becomes more pronounced in secondary school compared to primary school students. And this suggests the impact of math anxiety on math performance intensifies as students progress their educational journey, which is quite sad. So we don't want students to be experiencing more and more math anxiety as they go through their grade levels, especially in secondary. We actually want to expose students to the beauty and the creativity of mathematics. And so that's quite sad. That's quite an unfortunate finding. Okay, what about here? Transition from primary to secondary. So I think we can guess what happens with math anxiety. So it says that the transition from primary to secondary is a critical period in terms of math anxiety. And during this transition stage, students with high trait math anxiety often have poorer self-ratings and attitudes towards math, despite having a high IQ, interesting enough. Okay, these students tend to perform better in math during secondary school, highlighting the complex relationship between math anxiety and performance. So the study also found that students who perceive their math skills as low are at a greater risk for developing trait math anxiety. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look at the meta-analytic findings. I always like to try and summarize this. I won't read all of this. Normally what I would do is summarize this and then put it on a slide with some information. Ask parents to reflect, to read, and to distill and synthesize, what the message is. So in terms of the meta-analytic findings, so meta-analysis has confirmed a small to moderate negative correlation between math anxiety and math achievement. So I'm sure that we could have guessed that. And the relationship is consistent across grade levels and is more pronounced, again, in secondary school students. The findings emphasize the importance of addressing math anxiety early in a student's academic career to prevent long-term negative effects on math achievement. So I think that's really important. I've met many adults who all have a math anxiety or math trauma story. And it's so sad we all have a math trauma story in terms of how negative we might have felt or humiliated in a situation. And I've experienced that myself. I was once in a conference and we were working on a problem and I was going through some productive struggle and didn't necessarily see the answer straight away. And I was working with a stranger that I didn't know. And the stranger, in a mocking, patronizing way, said, "Can't you see the answer? This is it." I was thinking, why did you just rob me of that experience of working it out for myself? It's not about who's the fastest at working out problems, but who is the deeper thinker and who actually understands the concepts. So we all have math trauma stories, and it's so important that we're not part of a student's math trauma memory, and that we don't contribute to our students' math anxiety. Okay, so this looks interesting, early elementary school and learning interference. Math anxiety can interfere with learning of new concepts, of course. This interference can lead to cumulative gaps in knowledge, of course, suggesting that early intervention is crucial. Okay, so what else? Teacher influence on student math learning. That's what I'm most interested in. And I think my next prompt is going to be, what are those specific teaching practices that lead to math anxiety? So what does this one say? Teachers' math anxiety can negatively impact students' math learning. A large-scale study found that both girls and boys in classes with highly math-anxious teachers actually learned less during the school year. I think that's the idea that our thoughts and our feelings, if we're feeling anxious, is actually exhibited in our behavior, and students can sense when we are actually anxious about the subject. So this underscores the importance of addressing teacher anxiety to improve student outcomes in math. Okay, and the conclusion is research highlights the pervasive impact of math anxiety on student learning, particularly as they transition from primary school to secondary school. Gender differences, cognitive factors like working memory, and the influence of teachers all play a significant role in shaping the relationship between math anxiety and performance. And early identification and intervention are key to mitigating the negative effects of math anxiety and supporting students' mathematical development. So on Consensus, you can share the link. So here, I'm going to copy the link to the page and I'm going to put it in the comment section below so that you can actually see. And this, when you open up the link, you'll be able to see all the studies and you'll be able to click on the studies and read the studies for yourself. So when I'm actually researching, I look at the studies that I think are relevant. I actually do read through them. The abstract normally tells me whether I'm going to read the entire study or not, or whether it's relevant for my talk. And I think this is a great research tool. I'm on the free version, as I said, so it's very limited. Let me show you the plans, and then I'm going to follow up with another prompt about what teacher practices actually impact math anxiety. So if I go here to the menu, I've got upgrade to premium, so I'm just going to show you, let's go down, view the plans. Okay, so I do have limited access at the moment, and I am thinking about upgrading because I do a lot of research. And while I do use Perplexity a lot, I love how this is actually built for academic research. So you can see down here the world top organizations that use Consensus: Princeton, Northwestern, UCLA, Michigan, Harvard, etc. So this is used by institutions for research. So the free plan, I've got 10 GPT-4 powered pro analysis. I'm nearly up to that limit already. 10 study snapshots, 10 ask paper messages, 10 bookmarks, and 1 custom list. So I've got 1 custom list. I've already used that. Unlimited searches across over 200 million research papers. That's pretty phenomenal. And unlimited research quality indicators. Okay, so that's the plan. So let me go back now and I'm going to ask for what are the teacher practices that actually impact math anxiety. So here's my prompt. What are the practices from teachers and their instruction that actually impact math anxiety? Can you be very specific about instructional strategies that lead to math anxiety and instructional strategies that mitigate math anxiety? Okay, so that's a prompt that I'm going to put in, and I can share the link to these results too in the comment section below. So here, let's looking over the research. I'm at pro analysis because I'm under the limit at the moment. Okay. And I'm going to go through some of these. So I think it's really important that we're aware of the practices and strategies that we are using that lead to math anxiety. Okay, so here, rigid curriculum and boring teaching styles that can lead to math anxiety. So these approaches can significantly increase math anxiety by making learning unengaging and stressful. And I would actually like to look at the papers to look at specific strategies that were boring. So I'd probably click on here, math anxiety, the influence of teaching strategies and attitude. Okay, so that's a paper. Let me open that so that you can see what Consensus actually gives you. Okay, so here is the actual paper, 2022. Let me just click on it because I want you to see. So this is what the paper is. We can cite it, share it, and we can read the abstract and then decide whether we want to read the entire paper or not. Okay, so let's go back to that search. So what's the next instructional strategy that leads to math anxiety? Strict and unapproachable teachers. The beauty of teaching is that we bring those human qualities to the classroom to our students, such as compassion, care, empathy. And I think if we are strict and unapproachable, of course that's going to lead to math anxiety. So negative experiences such as embarrassment in front of peers and pressure to find correct answers can contribute to high levels of math anxiety. Yeah, and I'll be looking at that paper a little bit later because I'm really interested in that. Focus on performance over learning. So emphasizing grades and performance rather than understanding and mastery can increase anxiety and fear of failure. I couldn't agree more. Okay, so what are the things that we need to be doing to mitigate math anxiety? Expressive writing and relaxation techniques, that's interesting. Relative performance feedback, cognitive reappraisal, student-centered and inquiry-based learning. So I'm going to be looking into this paper. I think student-centered inquiry-based learning actually leads to deeper conceptual understanding and higher engagement and motivation for students. Use of technology in group learning, great. Encouragement and positive reinforcement. Okay, great. So let me just make sure that I'm also going to copy this link and put it in the comment section below. So that was me trying out Consensus, which is a great research tool. If you like to look at research papers and you want direct links to research papers, then I would highly recommend Consensus. There are, of course, other tools as well. I used to use Cite, but now that's gone completely subscription as far as I understand. Consensus still has a free version, but I'm on the edge of subscribing. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and I really hope to see you next time.